Web panel events are pretty much a limited time event where you can get a bunch of goodies if you participate, or if you do whatever it asks you to do, get a bunch of them, and then you can get these various rewards. It depends. But that's the quick summary, quick version of what a web panel is. Global isn't new to the concept because you had a bunch of events you could do. However, it's not specifically named web panels, and if you want a bit more in-depth details about it, the rest of this video is going to go into a bit of history, talking about what happened on the Japanese-based PSO2 and their various web panel events. So, if you want to see a certain point, look in the description for the time skip. I'm going to go through the archives through Bump. You can look in the description for the links. If you want more details about this upcoming 9th anniversary event, you can most likely keep tabs on Bump, or you can use the official PSO2 New Genesis website to keep tabs on that. It will release a bit more information about these specific things in due time. But for now, let me go into history or a talk with the web panel events. So once again, Global had events. It's just that, was it specifically named web panels? No. Did they have the same sort of quality in terms of awards and stuff? That will vary. There are pros and cons to it, especially when it comes to the shop, which I will show in a bit. But in terms of some of the stuff that Global missed out on, it's like some of the discounts and some of the other things that I would display with some of these past ones. Now, I'm going to only show the first one and the last one. The reason why I'm doing it is because, one, there's a glaring difference from that of the 2015 and that of the 2021, because obviously around 2015 it was starting to get into this process with web panel events, and then it was also not as fleshed out. Around that time, 2015, I would say it was around episode 2 or episode 3 era. So when you hit 2021, it was in episode 6 era. So let's get started. Let me talk about the 2015 one. It's not as impressive, but there were several things going on when this kicked in. One, they had this thing going on, and as you can see, we got what it looks like 6,162,349 points. This is most likely throughout all the ships, and once again, this is to promote activities so you can get a bunch of goodies. If you hit certain thresholds, you can see that you can get various rewards. So if you were able to get an X amount of points, you get this certain item. So for this one, you get 1,000 fun point if you hit 600,000 points. 800,000, you get these casino coins. Okay, so casino, that was released in episode 3. So this was in the episode 3 era. There were certain camo skins, as you can see. If you hit certain points, this one was like 2,250,000. You get this dual saber. What was it? Dual saber, twin dagger camo. That's a multi-weapon camo. There was this bow one as well. So there were incentives, there were pushes to do this. And then you can also see there was also an affix week boost as well if you hit the certain point limit. So yeah, we acquired that many rewards. Now there was also the bingo going on, which is a plus side. There's also the guides as well, and you will most likely receive some other things here and there, which I will demonstrate in game later. So this gave a lot of bonuses, and you can see all that stuff down here. If I remember correctly, the way we did this, we had to get certain badges. If my brain is working, the points were how many badges we got, and the badges drop as a currency, a different currency compared to Meseta, ACs, and all that. But as you can see, some of this is pretty tame. It's not as big if you had to play during the episode 5, episode 6 era. This was pretty like small, but at that time it was pretty big. Because we didn't have as many boost weeks, we didn't have as many ways to get a good chunk of X cubes easily. Getting money was pretty hard, and then like the Meseta boost was a giant plus, especially if you knew how to do extreme quests and did it well with a party or by yourself. So at that time in 2015, it wasn't as big like it was with the last web panel event on base Japanese PSO2. However, during that time, it was worth it. So most likely with this event for New Genesis, it's going to be accustomed to what's going on currently. It's not going to try to go crazy with it, but that's obvious. Now moving on, let me talk about the last one that kicked in for the Japanese PSO2 before New Genesis came in. So you can see that the rewards from here, pretty okay, but it evolved greatly. Instead of a 10%, guess what? It gives a 20% in terms of the affix grind success, in terms of just like giving some rare drop rate boost and meseta boost. It also gave discounts when it comes to the 30%, when it comes to the Recycle Shop, AC Recycle Shop. Oh wait, no. Recycle Shop, it also had the Stargem Recycle Shop discount, and then it had limited AC Recycle Shop. There was also certain items you get, a bigger XP and rare drop rate boost, login stamps, Rappy, medals for PSO2 ES. You get like a Shiva and whatnot as well, so it was a cosmetic item. And this was, once again, the point system was based off of, what was it? How many medals you got by doing a bunch of things for 2021. Specifically, around this time, it was these three quests: the Arcs Ship File Swirl, Mop-Up Operation, and then the Trigger version of that. So, you can get these medals and then you can spend them in the shop, and then you can get a bunch of goodies. Now, there's a plus side to this, and I'll show it in-game later. Not only that, back then we had the bingos and whatnot, and those were fine. It's just that you had to make sure you do the certain objective. So it took a bit of work because you had to read what you had to do specifically. As you can see, some of this stuff is like you had to defeat certain mobs, or clear certain client orders so you can get a certain bingo, then you get the certain reward. Now, they decided to change that because they did get rid of the bingo system, and they have a different thing, which is a point reward system. And when you hit certain thresholds, let's say, what is it? I thought there was like what is it? They did a slight competition with this as well, where if you're on your ship and you're able to acquire a lot, you'll be able to get all these things over here. Did they get rid of that information? I think they did. Well, that sucks unless I go to the actual thing. But yeah, pretty much you get individual rewards. So let's say you were able to farm for a bit and you were able to get at least 1,700 of these medals. If you have 1,700 medals, guess what? You get all of these rewards. Then you can push it further and then get all these other items as well. So it stacks, it gives a lot of plus. You don't want to miss out on it. And then also it helps because it accumulates to this, what is it? It accumulates to this, the rewards as well. As you can see, okay, so our total points was 365,463,489. I think that is different from what we had in the past in 2015. What was it in 2015? 6,162,349. Yeah, that is a glaring difference. But then again, the medals dropped a bunch, especially if you did ultra hard, extra hard, fire swirl. That was a lot of badges. They also gave other currencies as well when you did these. So if you hit the certain threshold, you get these certain perks, and the big part was, the big plus side to it was the 20% that we got. 20% boost week that we got. Global did get the 20% as well. It's just that there was a lot more happening with the Japanese side. Anyways, that's a bit of history with this. So pretty much there's incentives to do some of these activities, some of these quests. You get these certain things to boost up your points. You boost up your, what is it? Yeah, boost up your points. Help in the overall scheme of things, and then most likely it might help you on the individual level where they could give you individual rewards. And then you just get a bunch of stuff later down the line. Now, I have no clue if New Genesis is going to repeat that same sort of action. It might be a bit tame like it was back then in 2015. It might be a bit updated, but, you know, not as this many goodies. It might be a bit dumbed down. We shall see. So with that out of the way, let me hop on to PSO2. Now, As you can see, you can talk to Zai and you can get a bunch of stuff. Now, Zai is not here because, well, this is base PSO2 and they stopped doing a bunch of updates and all that jazz. So, you're pretty much stuck with some of the other alternatives. And the big thing about the Japanese side is that they have a 2021 shop. Now, this 2021 shop, if you paid attention to what it has everything from these past web panel events. Or some of the limited anniversary events that kicked in here and there. There was the web panel events, then there was the limited anniversary events that kicked in here and there, and then some other things. When it comes to the badge, the weapon badge, it is hinted at, like, I don't remember what this was specifically, actually. Because it's not from these web panel events. I would say that certain camo that we saw in the, well, over here. Like, if I'm able to find that in the 2021, that means they revived all of the stuff that was in the web panel specifically for the 2021. So if I go over here, go to weapon camos. So if I find that blade for the dual saber, twin daggers, and whatnot, yeah, I think it's here. Yeah, so most of these are from past panel events, and then there are some stuff that's not from the panel event. It's from like the Twitter stuff. So as you can see, the luster camos are here. What else? There's this, the knuckles that's in here. Then where's the liberate? Or that certain camo. That revolver that is in the 2015 panel event. Let me bring that up again. You can't see it right here. This thing over here is clearly in the 2021. So these are just past camos that you could have missed, but they allowed it to stay. Now, there was a specific there was a specific anniversary event during that time with that web panel where it was limited time. So if you didn't get those items, it's gone. But because of this shop, it allows you to get the other stuff. So this pretty much covers a lot of the stuff that was from some of those past web panel events or Twitter events and all that jazz. They vary because there's a lot of lobby actions you can go for. Some of these were actually behind a certain word phrase code, so you could easily get these as well if you missed that opportunity. They vary to the cage and all that. Pretty much all you had to do is get the 2021 badges, which you had to do certain events, and you can still get these 2021 currencies if you do the trigger or the trigger for Mother or Credo. Weapons, they also allow you to easily get Renza weapons and then some of the SSA abilities. They did implement this on global a bit early, and you use your unique badge 5 to get these, but I don't know if they fixed this thing here where they updated it so you can get the Renzas and the, we call it Liberates over here on JP, but it's called Revelates over there in global. But I don't know if they updated it so you guys can easily get this. Once again, some of these lobby actions were in mission passes. Some of these were behind a code. But you can get these once again if you have the 2021. There's also costumes, accessories, hairstyles that you could have missed as well. That is very weird on my cast. Hold up, that will bother the living shit out of me. It's supposed to be a space marine, not the other way around. So yeah, there's all these things as well. And then the weapon camo that I displayed earlier. And it has a lot of weapon camos. This will stack against you if you want to try to get everything. But pretty much that's the web panel event. Now, is it going to be the same sort of quality and the same sort of depth? I don't know. We shall see. Hopefully it does do some of the same stuff. I don't know. But anyways, that is it with the history with the web panel stuff. If you have any question, comment, concerns, put it down below. See you guys in the next video. Peace.